Welcome to Senior Insights. My name is Cynthia. Come on in, have a cup of coffee, grab a chair, sit around the table, sit on the recliner, or the rocking chair. That would be a good thing. Or like me, the desk chair. I'm always rocking back and forth, that's one thing. So, once again, I have no clue what I'm going to talk about because I'm kind of talked out. I feel like I've talked about a lot of things. But on the other hand, I tell you that my mind is going and then I have tons of ideas and then I'll never run out of things to talk about. So here I go. So far today, I've had a really good day. Except for the fact that I had to get up at 6. But I had to get up at 6 because I had an electrician coming here. And the electrician was going to fix a problem for me that I've had for over a year, I'm pretty sure. And it is the wiring, the electric wire that comes from the road is pulling off my house, so it's pulling the siding down. And the electric company said that they would not fix it. They don't touch anything that is attached to the house. It's electricity. So that's what I was told a year and a half ago. And then I decided, well, it didn't seem to be that bad. And I didn't feel like spending the money. And it wasn't really a major problem, even though it's been gnawing on the back of my mind for 2 years. I decided one day I'm going to take care of this. So I called the electric company again. I didn't have to wait. That was like a miracle in itself. And I said, can you please advise me on what I should do? I have an electric power line that is pulling the siding off of my house. She said, we don't do anything that attaches to the house. I said, well, can you advise me what I should do? And she said, you have to call a private electrician to do that. The electric company does not touch the power line that's at the house. That is so strange to me. I knew she was going to tell me that, but I wanted to double check because, like I forget things. And you just never know if you heard it right or whatever. And I like to at least start off on the right foot. So I have this friend, Anne, you've heard me talk about her. Well, she has a daughter, and her daughter has a serious relationship with an electrician. How handy was that? So I called my friend and I said, you got to give me his number, tell me what his name is, and give him a heads up that I'm calling. So she sent me his number. This was probably the third time that she sent me his number because I kept procrastinating. But it's become serious because it's pulling off the siding more and more. And the guy who was here to fix the internet said, ma'am, you need to do something about this. I said, okay, I guess I do. So anyway, he was real busy. He's real busy. He's a young man. He just became an electrician like 2 years ago or something like that. I don't know. But he just opened his own business, I guess. And he squeezed me in. He probably squeezed me in because I name dropped. I said, Anne is a good friend of mine. You have to do what you have to do. And so he scheduled me in 2 days after I called him. How is that for a miracle? But he wanted to come at 7:30. I said to myself, oh, 7:30. I'm not at my best at 7:30. Anyway, so I get up, do my thing, get ready, and he comes. He actually comes. 7:30. What an amazing miracle that was. Then he says to me, he says, come on out, let's look at this together. So I went out with him. It was a beautiful day, by the way. The sun is shining. It's only 56. I know that sounds cold, but just the sun is shining. And it's a brisk fall day, even though it's spring. Anyway, so he said, I can't do that. The power company needs to come and do this. And I said, I called the power company and they said I needed an electrician. So he pointed out to me, he said, we only take care of this, and he pointed to that. Made perfect sense. We don't take care of this, and it's sagging. So it needs to be pulled up and it needs to be re-hooked up to the house. So he said, you should call the electric company and tell them the situation. I said, I'm not sure I understand what the situation is. He said, okay, I'll call them for you. Now see, these electricians, they have they have a special number that they call because they have to set up appointments all the time, and they set it up with the linemen or whatever they are. So he calls, he didn't have to wait 1 second. He talks to the guy. The guy says, is it an emergency? He says, well, pretty much it is. Meanwhile, it's been going on for 1.5 years. So they put it on an emergency list, and they said they'd be right out. And they asked if he would be there, and he said yes, he would be there. So now this poor guy who squeezed me in is going to sit around waiting for the electric company to come. Meanwhile, in the driveway comes the heat pump people, which I had scheduled a long time ago to clean my heat pump. So I had 2 big things going on at the same time. So the heat pump guy comes in. I don't know if you've ever watched them clean a heat pump, but this is the first time that I've had the heat pump cleaned correctly, and I've had it for 3 or 4 years. Don't tell anybody. You're supposed to do it every year. But I get caught up on the cost of things. Plus there was something in the way, so they couldn't adequately get to it. So he cleaned the hot pump, and the kid and I, the electrician that's waiting for the electric company, and I were chatting, and we were watching this guy. He did such a fabulous job. He had like this portable power washer, and he hooked up this big plastic bag to the water pump, the heat pump, so that the water that he was using would fall into the bag and not go down the wall or on the floor or anything. So that was pretty interesting. They make these bags, I guess, that they have like bungee cords that go over the top of the unit. I don't know, I'm sure you're not interested in that. But it was cool. And then he used some kind of chemical, probably like Pine Sol or some degreaser or something. And then he power washed the inside of the heat pump. And you can see the dirt coming out. I says, is it really bad? He said, no, not that bad. So, but he did that, and then he went out and he cleaned the outside unit. And then he said, I'm turning the heat on. Meanwhile, it's hotter than you know what in my house. I said, you're turning the heat on? He said, yes, to dry out the unit. I said, okay. So anyway, I got my heat pump cleaned, and I was very satisfied. It was almost $50 cheaper than last year, and they did not clean it like it was cleaned this year. So I made the right decision there. Finally, I made a right decision. So then meanwhile, the poor electrician, and I was saying, can you come back another time, because I'd like to have some outlets put in. He he kind of grimaced. I don't think they like putting in outlets, especially when you have to go in a crawl space. And I said, and then I need this light fixed. I showed him the ceiling fan that hasn't worked since it was installed. So he fixed that. He said, I'll do that while I'm here. I know how to con these people, I'm telling you. So he fixed that. So I got the ceiling light fixed that has been not functioning for several years. Several. I got the fixture washed, which goodness knows how long it's been since it was washed. And we're still waiting for the power company to come. And I'm saying, oh, I wish I didn't have to wait. And he said, I wish I didn't have to charge you for the time I'm waiting. I said, oh, that's okay. Charge me whatever you want, because I felt like he was doing me a favor. Anyway, the power company comes an hour after he called them, which isn't bad, because they put it in as an emergency. So they both worked together, and they fixed the problem of the sagging wire pulling the stuff they attached it someplace else. Now I have this piece of wood siding that is being pulled off the house. So the electrician stays and he tries to fix it, and he couldn't get it quite to get together again. It's like tongue and groove. So he asked me if he could screw it where he got it to the highest point before it popped out again. So I said yes. So he did that for me too. He's not a carpenter. And the situation isn't resolved, but it's 95% better than it was when they arrived. So I got all those things done. How cool is that? Then he had to move my recliner to get up at the ceiling light, and I got to see what it looks like under the recliner. There were 3 dog toys, and it was obvious that when I vacuum, I don't go under the recliner. So I was able to vacuum under the recliner. So how cool is that? Vacuumed under the recliner. I got my electricity fixed. I got my heat pump fixed. And I probably spent my first paycheck on YouTube. I don't even know if it will cover it, but one of them was $249, and one of them was $245. So $500. I'm $500 shorter. But I got those things done. And I haven't gotten a check yet. Somebody said that in one of my previous videos I started talking about being monetized, and then I lost my train of thought and I never went back to it. I don't know what I was going to say, but I'll talk to you about being monetized. Yes, I am monetized. Monetized means, that's when they started putting those ads on my videos. I'm awfully sad that you have to watch those. Just block your ears or something, because I wouldn't like it either, but I appreciate that you do watch them, because that's what I get paid for, if I ever get paid. And then I said I said at one point that I couldn't figure out how to get paid. So that has all been taken care of. I have, whenever I get paid, whenever that is, and however amount it is, it will go directly into my bank account. So I will let you know when I get paid, because I know people are concerned that I'm not getting paid for all my hard work. I should be getting paid by Revlon, because cherries in the snow, even though I say I'm not going to talk about it, I talk about it, or I see someone else who said, I got my cherries in the snow today. Someone else, Linda, she wears her cherries in the snow to join us at coffee. And there are other people too. So Revlon, I think I'm going to hit them up. I don't know how you would do that. But anyway. So while the chair was out, I got out the furniture polish. I polished all the wood in my living room. So I don't know what else I'm going to talk about. But I will figure it out. Well, here I am again. I was walking by my Alexa, and all of a sudden I saw Rod Stewart there. That's because I was listening to his songs the other day when I was preparing for the Rod Stewart thing. And the song that was highlighted was Forever Young. And I said, yes, that's what we are. I don't know why it didn't occur to me when I was doing Rod Stewart. But we are forever young. Then I started thinking about the doll thing and the games thing. And don't you think it's incredible to me that we actually used to do those things. We used to make forts. I made grilled cheese sandwiches in the woods. We used to sing. We used to roller skate. We used to play jacks. That is really cool. And we have all those memories that sometimes we forget. So that's why it's good that we get together for coffee, because even if we say the same things over, half of us don't even know, what we said yesterday. So even if we repeat things or I forget things or you forget things, who cares? Because we are forever young. That's what Rod Stewart says. And I think it's true. There are many of you on this channel that have some very difficult things that you're going through. And I can't even begin to know what to say or do to make you feel better. But I would just encourage people to keep coming to coffee, and maybe there's something that one of us says that will give you a chuckle or give you a spark or make you feel better. As I'm doing this little humble speech, I'm looking at the cards in the background. And someone mentioned that there's a card on the way for me, and I'm really looking forward to that. I want to just share with you that, remember, I don't like to go out much, because every time I go out, something happens. Although the last time I went out, nothing happened. It was really kind of nice. So I only go by the post office one time a week. That's the least time. I mean, sometimes things happen and I have to go a couple of times. So if I don't acknowledge a card or acknowledge you, then it's because I haven't gotten it yet. Or like the poor person, blue jeans and jelly beans, whose card was sitting on my car seat for a week. I felt really bad about that. Sure, her feelings were probably hurt. While I'm talking about cards, if you choose to send me a card, which is very nice of you, I don't expect you to, and I don't want you to if you don't want to. But if you do, send me your address so that I can, maybe, if I get the time, jot you a note or send you a card. Because remember, we're practicing being nicer. We're practicing some of the old things that we used to do that we don't do anymore. So this forces you. One of the people in one of the comments on one of the cards said, I'm practicing my penmanship. I'm doing my share to keep penmanship alive. that tells me another person actually got something out about what I said. But if we write to each other, we're practicing our penmanship. Forget it. I just can go on and on about nothing. You get the message, though. Send me your address and send me your first name. You don't have to send me your last name if you don't want to. And you don't have to send me your address if you're uncomfortable with it. I totally understand. There's stalkers out there. There's not nice people. Have you seen those people who say, I'm young and I've had these hardships on the comments? It's a scam. They're trying to get us to respond to their money scam. I try and find, when I find those, I report them to YouTube, the YouTube police or whatever, and I tell them to keep them off. But I'm noticing they're coming more and more. That's because they see that we're doing good. So they figure that one of us, especially because we're old, is going to fall for that. Do not fall for that. Please, please, please. I'm going to do a thing on something. On the scams. People think they can take advantage of us all the time. I'll tell you this one thing, and you'll hear it again if I ever do that chat about being careful. My aunt, I was responsible, she passed away, and I take care of her husband. She was a gambler. She used to buy lottery tickets. And she used to go to the casinos. But apparently, and she used to sign up for all these sweepstakes and win $100,000, whatever. She was contacted by someone who told her that she was the big winner. And she believed them. In order to collect her money, she had to send $10,000 to this. She did it. She did it 3 or 4 times. She kept a diary of what she did. So, I don't know if that was because she had a gambling problem or she just didn't know any better or whatever. But she lost $40,000. Now, there are other people who lose all their life savings. That is not a good thing. We don't want that to happen to anyone. No one. So be careful. But anyway, I'm safe. You can send me your name and your address. You don't have to send me your phone number. That's okay. I wouldn't have time to call you anyway because I'm so busy. There's Quinny again. Everybody asks me if I would do a video with Quinny. But she won't stay put. Come here, Quinny. She won't cooperate. So how could I do a video with her? Look at how beautiful she is. So isn't she pretty? Quinny. I know you're listening to me. I can tell. Quinny. Come here. Show them. She won't cooperate, so you're never probably going to see anything about Quinny. But, and people have asked me, what is her name? It's Quinn. Her name is Quinn, Quinn. I call her Quinny. Why? I have no idea. But her name is Quinn, and she responds to either because she never knows, because I'm confusing. So I was talking about Rod Stewart and being forever young. Yeah. We are forever young. We're just in these old baggy bodies. But in our minds we're young. There was something else. Now it's coming to me that I was saying something about there's a lot of people. There's some people that are going through chemo that are just lost their spouses in this group, and I don't know what to say to you except my sympathies. My heart goes out to you. That's what I'm saying. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Remember, you're forever young. Remember, I haven't told you this in a long time. You are a walking, talking miracle. A walking, talking miracle. So don't forget it. Thank you for watching. Please comment and subscribe. Bring your friends to coffee. Share the joy. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you tomorrow.